evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. We are so glad to be in the land of the living this evening. Again, I need you guys to let people know that we're on live right now on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, which is the name of the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are on Twitch as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. Again, I have some of the dopest guests come through every time. Tonight is no different than any other night. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Proven over and over again since we started this show in 2020. Tonight, I'm going to go over and read to you an introduction of this wonderful woman right here. And then we're going to get into this conversation. We have Melanie Smiles, an author, registered nurse, specializing in emergency, critical care, and trauma nursing. She is also the owner of Mindful Mission Health and Wellness, with an unwavering desire to be a woman of influence by helping others heal their brokenness. She is dedicated to serving and helping people live more peaceful, fulfilled lives by sharing the works of Jesus Christ. Tonight, I want you to welcome again Melanie Smiles. As I said, male RN, saving lives both in the physical world as well as the spiritual world. Welcome, ma'am. How you doing?
Good evening. I am blessed. I'm good. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show. It is a pleasure. I have watched some of your podcasts and shows, and you have had some very interesting people on your shows. And I'm thankful for people like you, bring people on your show to put the spotlight on them to share their gifts and their talents and things like that. So it's a blessing to have people like you, Miss Sunshine.
Thank you so much. So how I met this wonderful woman, we were on a podcast for authors with TT from the D. And I was amazed by her conversation that she was having with us, sharing in her book, and the reason why she wrote the book. Again, her book right now is My Broken Smiles, Beautifully Broken, which has so many meanings to it. And we're going to get into that as fast as we can. As I stated in her bio, she is a real registered nurse. She's not just saying RN just to be saying it. And we're going to get into, why did you go into nursing?
Oh, wow. Actually, I went into nursing because I've always wanted to be a nurse since I was little. When I was in high school, I wrote in my high school yearbook, things where they say, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? And I wrote in there that I saw myself as a licensed practical nurse, but I superseded that and became a registered nurse. So I've always was intrigued with science, the body, healthcare, and I love to help people. So one of my gifts, I believe, is the gift of healing and helping people. So that was the reason why I went into nursing.
That was good. I've actually lived and grew up in the home with a registered nurse. My mom was a registered nurse for 24 years. So I saw her go through the change, the dissecting animals, to all these different things that she had to do to become a nurse. Her story was, at one point she wanted to be a mortician. The next best thing to that, I guess, for her was nursing. So that was her reasoning for going into nursing. And thank God she was a nurse, because she actually took care of my father, who was a kidney patient. And so she went into that to be able to take care of my dad as much as she could, from dialysis to she learned that, oh my goodness, to the point where she was teaching others how to pass the exams, how to study, all these things. I'm like, Mom, just go back and be a professor. And she wouldn't do it. Her goal was,
Wow.
yeah, to help people too.
Wow, it's amazing that you shared that story about your mother and helping your father. Because my stepfather is who raised me since I was a toddler. Him and my mother was married for over 30 years. And, he ended up getting cancer at age of 56 years old. And I was so happy that I was able to be there, for him while he was going through everything that he went through. He didn't understand the medical language. So I was glad that I was there to be able to bridge that gap between the healthcare and, what he was dealing with. Unfortunately, he ended up passing away. And I was there with him all the way up until he took his last breath. So
Wow.
it's a you know, yeah.
It's I would say being in the medical field, you really, really have to have a heart and a passion and be or anointed to do that for those whose mindset is beyond what you make on the dollar. But to really, really take care of people is not the easiest thing. It is not. Especially when it's someone that you love, because of you don't want to see them in pain, you don't want to see them hurting, you don't want to um I saw Superman to me um deteriorate right in front of me
Mhm.
for
Oh,
a span of time. And my younger sister never saw him healthy, and we didn't have this conversation until after years after he had passed. Matter of fact, we just celebrated on February 1st 8 years of him passing away. And she was like, I've never seen Dad healthy. He was always sick. And I'm like, wow, you never, everybody has that, their own relationship with that person. And I never paid no attention to it because I saw him before.
wow.
You know what I'm
What
saying?
year? What year did your dad pass?
It was February 1st, 2014. No, 16. 16.
That's another coincidence. My father passed away December 16th, 2016. No, December 1st, 2016. So
Wow.
that's yeah.
This
But
is another, mantra when it comes to this show or me in general. You never know until you have a conversation that we have so much in like, and we're not that much different. Until you actually have a conversation, you find out more things about a person just conversating with them, and in this moment sharing the love of our lives, um,
Mhm.
being taken away by a disease, um,
Mhm.
and being there for them even till their last moments on earth. So yeah, I'm, as we say, time heals all wounds, and it gets easier, but it's that moment of, I'll never forget.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And to be a nurse, I would say a good nurse, it does require a certain person. It's the heart posture and it's the mind. I love to serve. I love to help. And you can tell the difference between a nurse that's coming in just for the money, especially these days, and a nurse that is actually there because they really care and they have compassion for the work that they do and the people that they actually take care of. It is a big difference. I work at DMC Sinai Grace Hospital, and I've been there almost, it's been a little bit over 14 years. And I hear so much, ugh, I can't stand that hospital. You hear a lot of bad things about Sinai Grace Hospital. And they say it's times where I've had patients come and say, "You're a good nurse. Why are you here at this hospital? Why aren't you at Beaumont or why aren't you at Providence or Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital?" And I tell them, if you feel like I'm a good nurse, if you like the care that I am giving you or your family member, why would you want me to be out in those other areas? If this is the hospital that you guys come to all the time, this is where you need me to be. I don't want to be out there. And I've been at this hospital in the emergency room. I've seen a lot. I deal with a lot of trauma. Just about everything you could think of, I have seen it. We are the only hospital and that on the side of Northwest that
Mhm.
takes level one's traumas. And it's not, yes, the hospital has its challenges and its issues, but I'm not there just for the money. A lot of people left, especially when COVID came and they went to do travel nursing and making all this money. I stayed and I'm still there because I know where I'm supposed to be. I know where God wants me to be, and I'm being obedient. And I'm there because I love what I do. And this is the population that I decided to take care of. This is where my heart is. So I've seen a lot of nurses from all over, travel nurses come just for the money, and it is a big difference in their care and how they take care of these patients, opposed to some of the seasoned nurses that's been there for a while that actually really do care. So it takes not only a certain person, but you also have to have passion, compassion for what you do and the people that you take care of, you
Absolutely.
know, because it,
Funny
it
thing
shows.
is, my dad passed away in Sinai, and my mom used to work there years ago.
Wow.
So um, I'm very familiar with that with the hospital. Um,
Mhm.
so in your years of nursing, what was the thing or that moment where the light bulb came on to say, "Hey, I want to do something out of my own heart," meaning the owner of Mindful Mission Health and Wellness? How did you get there?
Um, Mindful Visions, it was um, what that company is. Um, I like to bridge the gap between patients, their healthcare providers, and the insurance companies by educating the patients and their family members about their diagnosis, about their healthcare, their medication, most importantly, and the things that they're dealing with and their outcomes. So, what that does is um, it increases the doctor's ratings, and it saves the insurance company money, and the patients have a better outcome in their care. Because at Sinai Grace Hospital, we have a lot of patients that we call frequent flyers that we see all the time because they're not being educated. They're not being taught about what is actually going on with them. You'll be surprised at how many people that's 40 years old and up come into the hospital. We check their blood pressure, and the blood pressure is 100 over it or 200 over 100. And we're like, "You have high blood pressure?" And they're, "Yeah, that's what the doctors say." I'm like, "You don't know if you have it or not?" "Well, they got me on some kind of medication." "You don't know what you're taking?" "Well, they gave me some pills to take, but I don't think it's working." "Okay, but if you are taking the medications like you're supposed to, which 9 times out of 10 they're not, are you also modifying your lifestyle, your diet?" They might come in with a big Mountain Dew and still smell like a pack of cigarettes. They need help. So mindful missions is educating the patients to be mindful of what's going on in their life, what's going on in their body, all around them. So, um, and my dad was diagnosed with cancer at Sinai Grace Hospital and had most of his care there. He didn't transition at Sinai Grace Hospital, but that's where it all began. And that was around the time where I birthed mindful missions. So that's where that came from.
That is very important to have the education on both ends of taking care of someone. Blessings for us as a family. My mom was very diverse in the medical field. She worked also in different areas of the medical field, meaning she worked in the jails, she worked on the psych floors, she worked some of everywhere. So it wasn't
Mhm.
one area of treatment that she knew about. Um, and then once, my dad was diagnosed, she most of the time was on the renal floors. And she learned hands on how to take care of my father. Um,
Mm.
and she understood the language, she understood what he was taking. And at some point, no, he can't take that because he's allergic to that. That, you know what I'm saying? they're get so used to doing a routine that sometimes we don't read that somebody's allergic to this, or there's a reaction to this, whatever. So my mom was actually hands on with my father and several other family members in the family. So it was a good thing for her to know what she knows. Even to this day, she helps her sister, who actually is a medical doctor. She helps her with her patients and, you know, things of that nature. But I myself, I didn't want to go into the medical field because of my mother. Uh, some of the stories my mom used to tell me, oh my God, it was like, no, thank you. I don't want that. But in the end, I end up, you know, still taking care of people all the way up until. So
Mhm.
I'm glad that you came up where God gave you the vision for Mindful Mission, to help people understand. And it's not a death sentence.
That's
Some of
right.
these things can be reversed, some of these things can be
Mhm.
healed. And having someone of the faith, yes, God, that is in this, change it all the way around, all
Absolutely.
instantly, because not only do you have a faith believer on
Mhm.
top of, if you do this, then God can perform this. And
Mm.
that changes the dynamic of that altogether.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, One of the main reasons that I've been in the ER for so long is because I deal with every area and aspect of nursing. I am not just an ER nurse that covers pediatrics, traumas, renal, pulmonary, cardiac, psychs, everything under the nursing healthcare aspect. That's what I deal with every single day. So it's not just ICU, so it's not just one area of nursing that I'm in. I deal with every area of nursing. And it is a blessing. And it does help to be a person of faith because sometimes, even though people may come in, we're treating a lot of patients with medication and clinical, when sometimes all they need is somebody just to tell them, like you say, your diagnosis is not a death sentence. It all depends on you. And a little education and a little prayer goes a long way for a lot of people. A lot of our frequent flyers is back and forth in the hospital because they're not being educated, and because you know they just don't have someone to just talk to them and tell them what is actually going on with them, or to get a clear understanding. You know, I had a lady yesterday that came in yesterday. She came in for chest pain. She said, I just had a stress test and my doctor told me to come into the ER because I'm having severe chest pain. And she was short of breath. And I said, have you ever had a heart attack before? She said, yeah, 4 years ago I had a big heart attack. And she was only like 56 years old also. I said, do you know what caused your heart attack? She said, yes. She said, stress. I'm under a lot of stress. But yet she smelled like cigarettes. I said, do you smoke? She said, yes, I do smoke. She said, I smoke now, because I'm more now because I'm under so much stress. I said, "But your heart attack was caused probably by the smoking and your lifestyle opposed to the stress. So these doctors and people got her thinking that her heart attack is just from stress and her outside influences, which that may have contributed to it. But more than likely, we know that smoking causes an increase in cardiovascular diseases 4 to 5, 10 times more than a non-smoker.
Hmm.
So it's just simple things like that. And she was like, are you serious? I said, I'm very serious. She said, once you have a heart attack one time, you increase your chances of having another heart attack is if you don't stop smoking and if you don't modify, your diet and your lifestyle. She acted like she was just so surprised. Just that little bit of education and teaching sometimes does help, you know, which sometimes we might think is common sense, but common sense is, it's sometimes it's not just common sense, it's just education.
I think on the on or attachment too is, we have these things, and I don't know why we assume that this can't happen to me
Hmm.
until it happens. We're thinking that, hey, that might happen to them. You know, I'm at a certain age, I can bounce back. But it's not like a disease have an a age or a creed or whatever. It doesn't do that.
Right.
Just have to really take care of yourself. Being that in your 40s, you know, your metabolism is slowing down, your lifestyle, it might be changing, things of that nature. And we're
Mhm.
go on the go so much that we're not paying attention to our health like we
That's
should.
right.
I'm guilty of
Mhm.
it myself.
Mhm.
And has come to the knowledge, I have been saying this um, for the last month, I guess, of realizing that I can't eat certain things anymore.
Mhm.
My suffering is going to be pain all night. No, who wants that? So
That's right.
there goes. Um, Now that I know the information, now it's up to me to change that and keep it
Mhm.
that. And helping in that is also where you come in, or your village, where
Mhm.
you're accountable to them and they are accountable to you, of making sure that you don't fall back into the traps.
That's right.
As
Absolutely.
so also I wanted to get in while we have this time of your book that you wrote,
Mhm.
Broken Smiles, Beautifully Broken. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, My Broken Smiles, Beautifully Broken, is a book that I wrote um, about. I wrote this book about 3 years ago. It's a personal story of my experience with brokenness, what I went through dealing with a narcissist, emotional and mental abuse, and how I got through. How God saved me in the midst of my brokenness. Um, so that's really what My Broken Smiles Beautifully Broken it's about. Um, it teaches a lot about knowing the signs, traits, and characteristic of narcissistic abuse, mental illness, and things like that. Um, yeah, it's also um, it's also it's faith based, so it has a lot of scriptures in there to help people get through, certain things that I talked about. So that's what it's about.
We definitely, is it on Amazon? Where is it?
It's on Amazon. It actually made bestseller in two different countries, so it's on Amazon. You can actually basically get it on any media platform: Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, Target. Um, yeah, most media platforms you can get it. Also on my website, www.melaniesmiles.com. When you purchase a book from my website, it comes with a free gift. So that's the benefit. It's cheaper on my website, and it also comes with a free gift. Um, I also talk about my journey as becoming a teenage mother of two kids before I graduated high school, um, and the things that I had to get through. Because it's a lot of people that go through some of the similar things that I have went through, but a lot of people don't know how to come from a place of brokenness to a place of healing. So that's
Mhm.
where this book comes in at, because I hear a lot of people say, well, how did you get through it? How did you, it's easy to say, but God. It is but God, but I actually breaks down, how I got through and some of the steps and things that I did to get through that place of brokenness to a place of healing.
I always get this question or concerns, as when people see you now, they can't believe the things that you have survived or made it through.
Mhm.
At the moment, it's like, but you're this, but you're a registered nurse. How did you let somebody do this to you? How did you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just have a outer, like, it could be that person that you think understands you, or where you are in your walk or your situation, and for some it's the comfort person. And then until you get to that place of, I can't take this no more. um and I can understand this because um sunshine was never always sunshine.
Mhm.
I had to go through jail first of, as we say, the a mental cage, right?
Mhm.
And people would say, as strong as you are, I can't see anybody controlling you. I can't see anybody mentally abusing you or anything like that. And I'm saying, well, I'm glad you think that, but we have moments where we think or we feel that love is blind and we put up with some crazy stuff.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. When we're in love, you're absolutely right. You know, I hear this, I see this a lot. You know, kids, teenage girls come in with their parents, just finding out they're pregnant. Mother is upset and mad. Okay, rightfully so. The daughter could be what, 13, 14, 15 years old. The mother is upset. I can't believe you pregnant. And most of the time, the next thing that come out of the mother's mouth is, we taking you right down the street to get rid of this. That's what they say, without even thinking or considering what the child wants. Okay, the mother or the parent is just always concerned about them, what, the embarrassment and the shame. My parents didn't do that. And I look at and I always say to the parent, it's not the end of the world because your daughter is pregnant. Okay, it's just, and she's a teenager still in school. And I love to share my story with them. When I walked across the stage in high school, both of my children was in the audience. And they look at me like, you and her. Yes, yes, me, absolutely. If I can do it, she can do it as well. It's not the end of the world. It all depends on the support and her mindset on what she wants to do. I use that shame and that embarrassment that my mother and them, they wasn't shamed. At least they didn't act like it. She told me, what is it that you want to do? It's your child, it's your bed, you got to lay in it. I'm like, well, I want to keep my kids. So she said, okay. And I had their full support. I graduated high school on time. I continued to go to college. I didn't miss a beat. And it was because my parents supported me. They believed in me, and I've had a lot of support. I had both of my parents in the household, my grandparents, everybody helped. So that's what I believe was one of the blessings that I had as far as raising my children, which I know a lot of these young kids today, they don't have that support in their family. They may have more obstacles to go through. Because someone asked me not too long ago, well, now, you see yourself now, what you've been through. Is there any excuse for anyone else that has gotten pregnant or went through what you went through, why they can't make it or why they're not? I can't speak for them. They may have went through more obstacles and more challenges and storms than I went through. Everybody' life situation is a little different. Is it possible? Yes, everyone, can get through certain things in life if they have the certain resources and support. But um yeah, that's I've had a lot of support. So that's what helped me get through that most challenging time. A lot of people say, "Wow, that must be one of the hardest things in life for you to overcome." In life, it was hard. I had to go through some things, but it was not the hardest thing that I had to get through. The hardest thing in life that I had to get through was being married to a covert sociopath narcissist and coming out of that marriage in my right mind. That's one of the main reasons why I wrote this book. Main reasons why I wrote this book. You see a lot of young ladies having children at a very young age, back to back, and it's not really phasing them. A lot of them is not out here depressed and want to commit suicide because they had all those children at a young age. A lot of them is being broken and going through things because of the pain and brokenness from relationships. That's a different type of pain right there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and the blessing of this is we were overcomers. We came out. We learned the lessons, and thank God for the village.
mm,
even in my worst moment of being suicidal, going through the funeral arrangements with my dad, who
Mm-hmm.
was my cheerleader. No one knew that me and my husband was separated, and he bought me a dog to comfort me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I didn't know how to live life, and I didn't think I was going to live life without my father. But I remember him saying, "Go back to your first love." My first love has always been God and music.
Amen.
And he said, "Go back to your first love, write the vision and make it plain."
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, "God, I got to make my daddy proud. Not just me living is not okay. You got to make a mark and you have to be able to influence other people." God told me when I started this show that I was going to be the help that I once needed.
Mm.
So this is why I push the way I push. This is the reason why I open the doors for everybody to tell their story, because we don't know the journey or what they've been through to get to where they are now.
That's right.
And so you writing a book is going to help somebody. You being a testimony to others that just because you had this right here don't mean the story is over. It's not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
another part of your story that you'll be able to tell somebody. It ain't over. And it still ain't over.
Mm-hmm. That's
I mean,
right.
when I walk out of that mental jail cell, sunshine was birthed. It wasn't just
Mm.
Camille. I was a whole different person. Now, whatever was already in me can come out and
It,
be
it, it
I'm
just brought it
supposed to
out.
be, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm still developing. I'm still doing more things that God has put in me that I don't even know. So if I would have just ended it right then, no one would
Mm-hmm.
ever be able to have this platform. Nobody would be able to say, "Hey, you've been through that. I don't know if I can get through that." Yes, you can.
That's right.
Yes, you can. You just got to have the right people at the
Mm-hmm.
right time to help you stand up and be who and all that God wants you to be.
That
I
is
didn't do
so
this
true.
by myself, but now
Mm-hmm.
I have another person where I can lean on to say, "Hey, I might not have went through every part of her book or her story, but she making it. She's still smiling. She's still doing. She's still helping, even when she probably was asking for help."
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm more inspired to do more because of you.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you said that it's not over. It's not. As long as you have breath in your lungs, it's not over. Even when you people say I have healed, healing is not a destination. Healing is an ongoing process and growth to be a better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Healing is not so much about just getting through what you've been through, but it's also about not letting whatever you've been through have control or dominion over your life. Revelations 12:11, it says, "We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony." I thank you for coming on here, sharing your testimony, and telling people what you've been through, because that's how we reach back and help somebody else get through what they went through. Our life is not our own. I tell people it's not our own,
Abs-
and it's always, as long as you have breath in your lungs, it's always something to do.
Absolutely. I know Melanie has something else to do. So I'm gonna have to get a repeat on this to get more in depth, but I want you guys to support her. Again, author of My Broken Smiles, Beautifully Broken, is in all social media platforms, in Walmart and Amazon and Target, all of these places, Books and Noble. I need you guys to go and support her. Also, she said that it is better, cheaper, with a gift on her website at melaniesmiles.com. I want you guys to support her, run it up, as we say. I'm trying to get to the church announcements as fast as I can. so she won't be late to her next destination that she has.
That's okay. I got five. I still got six more minutes.
So again, as I stated earlier, I met her on another platform for authors. So also in supporting her, I need you to support me with the Blueprint Guides Design. It is on Amazon. You can put the title, the link, or my name, and it will come up. Also, if you want to continue to support this platform, you can donate at the Cash App at Sunshine Camila. I thank you in advance for that. This has always been and will continue to be sponsored by Blacktop Streetball Association, btsba.com. They're coming to a city near you in the spring. So I need you guys to run it up with my boy, Wally Dixon, aka Main Events. And if you know anything about N1, you know who he is. If you have people that you want to see be on this show, you can inbox me on Facebook at Sunshine Kamela. Go to IG, Sunshine Camila, or Keeping It Real Conversations. I would love to have you. Also, you can email me, CamilaFoster51@gmail.com. I have 2 events that I'm definitely supporting, and they're, of course, by my sister, TT from her husband, Swifty McVeigh, P12. Unplugged Performance Meet and Greet is Saturday, which is coming up soon. Saturday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. Doors open at 6. The performance starts at 7 at the MAG, 21421 Hilltop Street, Suite 24, Southfield, Michigan 48033. Look it up so you can support our boy Swifty McVeigh. Also, in our celebrity town, Crystal P is celebrating 20 years in entertainment, more than the eyes can see. Saturday, March 6th at 7 p.m. for Community and Performing Arts Center, 15801 Michigan Avenue, Dearborn, Michigan. Please go support them. You don't want to miss these events that are coming up soon. Personal favorite, both of these people will be on the show coming up shortly. I want to say McVeigh is next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Crystal P will be back on the show for the second time, March 7th. Again, please support Melanie. And since we're on the last words, ma'am, do you have something you want to say?
I do. I want to say that I enjoyed you at the play. Was it called He's Fine, but Is He Saved?
Yes.
Where you played with Medea?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You did a really good job. And keep doing what you're doing. You're being a blessing to many. And I'm going to support you. I'm going to get your book. And I would also like to donate to your platform, because I think what you're doing is really blessing and is really helping people. And I just want to tell you thank you.
Thank you for saying yes. Again, when I meet people, it's the purpose for the connections. It's the purpose for, there's a reason why we cross paths, and why you stuck out to me. Again, I'm definitely going to have you on again to get more in depth also in the book, if we could break that down, and even more into your organization, so you can really be helped by you. Again, we got to cut it short, but again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since we started this show. Again, we will be back here on this Thursday with the actor Marcus Woods, who's doing it really big in the city of Detroit. Again, we are trying to get our people up and let the world know who we are, what we represent, because he is also a God-fearing man. Again, thank you for stopping through. Love you, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Okay. Peace. Bye.